the minute I felt kind of unsure about what was going on, Wally would literally stop and he would turn and look at me. Like he
Wow.
knew.
There are healers on this planet with the power to soften the suffering of mankind, yet they have remained in the recesses of the world, abused, discarded, and labeled as trash. This is The Touch of a Mustang. I am your host, Shalise Clough, and I'm here to tell the story of wild horses, Mustangs, and the humans who are discovering and sharing their gifts while working to protect their well-being and preserve their spirit, so this divine power won't be lost. Join us on this quest with the Wild Mustang. Thanks for being here and doing this. I'm excited to hear your story. I think you saw a reel that I did and you
Yes.
had reposted it maybe, and I commented on that. And then you messaged me talking about how you rescued your Mustang, but he had really rescued you. And I don't know, when someone tells me something like that, it's like, I just know that you have a story that's worth telling.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to my experience in that aspect of just horses changing my life. So yeah, let's talk about it.
So my daughter is, she was a USEF letterman. She learned how to ride when she was 7.
Oh, wow.
And so I didn't start riding until I was 40, actually.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of got me into horses, and we've owned a standard bred. He was a trotter off the track, and I own 6 horses right now. We own 3 thoroughbreds, and we think she is a Mustang draft. She is massive. She was raised to be a bucking horse and didn't buck, was sent off to slaughter, and we rescued her. And Wally came into my life 2 years ago. I had a very bad accident on Shapa, which is my big draft Mustang. I thought I shattered my pelvis, and I didn't.
Geez.
I ended up pulling in. Yeah, thankfully. Well, actually, no, the doctor said I would have been better off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because what I did was I tore, you have a ligament that runs the whole back of your leg. Well, I ripped it from the bone. So
my gosh.
I have.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great either.
No. And so I have permanent nerve damage in my leg.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of was fearful, didn't ride for a while. My girlfriend called me. Her husband had left her with 4 horses. 2 of them she had to put down because they were just old and she didn't want them in the slaughter pipeline.
Yeah.
My trainer rescued one of them and Wally was left. And my trainer had gone to pick Kip up, the other horse, and I was with her. And she saw Wally and she saw how my girlfriend's daughter acted with him, and she said, "You know what, Tracy, this is the horse for you. You need this horse to get you back in the saddle." And I was like leery. I didn't, because I was hurt really bad.
It's hard to come back from accidents. I had a pretty bad one where I ended up with 18 staples in my head and rib contusion. So so I know the emotion that is there and can go with it. Like, it's hard to come back.
Yeah. And so he was rounded up. He's a Sailor Creek Mustang from Idaho. He was rounded up when he was 3 months old. And he was kind of raised in the corrals, which is sad. He then became a pack horse. So he really didn't have the best life. Then went to an abusive situation where he was abused. Then ended up, I think, 2 more houses, 2 more families passed along. Then my girlfriend and her husband got him. And my girlfriend's husband he's, worked him at a feedlot. So again, not the best life.
Yeah, hardworking life.
Yeah, hardworking life. And so when she called me and Monique and I went out there, I was leery, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I have this big, massive 1,700-pound draft horse that
you're already having some trauma from your experience. Right.
So he didn't like to load. We finally got him in. Kept him, separate from the other horses for a while. Um, and I started training with him, and he was so amazing that he knew how insecure I was,
Mm,
and he would just stand like he wouldn't do anything. And I
yeah.
had another trainer, Ted Nichols, who is phenomenal with Mustangs. So Ted came over to the house and he evaluated him, and he got on him in my arena and got off and said, "Okay, Tracy, you're going to get on him." And I
Yeah.
was
You're like, thank
like,
you for
yeah,
taking the first ride, letting
yeah,
us see
right.
what's going to happen here
I'm
with
like,
this new horse.
Okay, I don't
And
know
so
if I,
you hadn't ridden
nope,
before this
nope,
point? Okay.
nope. I
So this
had,
is your first
yeah,
venture after this huge, hard,
yeah,
difficult
yeah,
accident.
yep. So I'm in the arena and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And Ted's like, it'll be okay. This horse does not have a mean bone in his body. And
Mm,
Ted, he's won Mustang challenges for years. Like, he's amazing. I don't know if you know who Ted Nichols is here
I
in
don't. I
Idaho.
haven't heard of him
You,
before.
you're going to have to look him up.
Yeah,
He's
I was gonna say I'll
amazing.
have to check him out after this.
Yeah. So Ted came and I got on him and he led me around the arena. And the minute I felt kind of unsure about what was going on, Wally would literally stop and he would turn and look
Mm,
at me like he
wow.
knew. And we rode. I mean, we took lessons. We've done everything. Unfortunately, this year's been kind of a crap year and I didn't ride at all this year. But
Yeah.
it's so funny that I go out. He knows my truck. I'll drive up the driveway and he's at the gate, head over the gate, waiting for me. I go out the garage door and I can see my pasture. He always has something to say to me the minute I come outside, the minute he hears my voice. Um, he's just, there's just some kind of bond with him that is a bond that I don't think other people understand. And
Yeah.
I get emotional with him because he's had such a horrible life and
Yeah.
he's 19 years old. Like, he's
Yeah.
not a young horse. He's not some, if anybody said, "Oh, you need to get rid of him," where would he go? What
Yeah.
what would happen to him, right?
Yeah. He's got a couple strikes against him. Being a
Right.
Mustang, being old,
And I
not
never
not usually the desirable horses.
right. And I didn't know anything about Mustangs. I
Yeah.
knew nothing. I mean, I come from the East Coast where we have warm bloods and standard breds and,
Yeah.
thoroughbreds. We came out here 18 years ago and I mean, we shipped our standard bred here. My daughter owns a quarter horse, I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't know anything about what a Mustang
It
was.
is interesting because I
Yeah.
didn't know much either. When I saw my first mare, I was just like, what is a Mustang anyway?
Yeah.
Like you hear
Yeah.
about them, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
But
had no idea the whole world that
right.
existed.
And my girlfriend owns four. She has rescued four from the corrals here in
Mm-hmm.
Idaho. And so her and I we would go to lessons together and everything. And there's something about a Mustang. I don't think I would ever own any other kind of horse after owning
Yeah,
him. There's
kind of
this
get you.
yeah. And it's so funny. Yesterday I was out feeding and I have to separate them all to feed
Mm-hmm.
because I have
Yeah,
two that, need grain that it turned into mash and, the whole story with all the different dynamics with all of them.
yeah, it
And
can be tricky.
yeah. And Wally is so funny because I'll go out and wash the bowls and he's right there. He has to be with
Um,
me at all times. And when my thoroughbred comes up to me, he kind of pins his ears. He's not mean, but he's like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing?" But I think that he really rescued me because I was never going to get back in the saddle. I never wanted to
yeah,
ride again after that incident. And I
yeah,
would never get rid of my horses because they say that every time you rehome them, they run a 66% chance of being in a bad situation.
yeah. I mean, I think that is true and something we don't always think about. We sometimes think we can't provide the perfect home, but a lot of us can provide really good homes. Whereas
Mhm.
if we send them to someone else, their future is a lot more uncertain. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And so he just has brought me such peace. And like,
Yeah.
if I'm having a bad day, I can go out there and have a discussion with him and he listens.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think people need to understand what it is about a Mustang that just tears at your heart. Like, they're
Yeah.
just an unbelievable animal.
Yeah. They are really incredible. And I will say I'm still trying to understand. That's part of the reason why I wanted to start this, is because I could definitely feel the change they made in my life
Hmm.
through my interactions with them, and then how that would kind of go into my life outside of horses.
Hmm.
But it was hard for me to explain or to even really know why it was so significant, why it had been so life changing
Yeah.
to me. I just posted a reel on Instagram that was like thinking about what my life would be like if I hadn't have seen my Mustang online and like gone and just did this crazy thing to get this untrained Mustang.
Right.
I had a bunch of young kids I was taking care of, but really for me, and it sounds like for you also, it was life changing.
Hmm.
And I don't even know if I can totally vocalize that. And I'm like, if you have more to add to that, I love to learn how they have changed the lives of other people also.
And I think people need to know, because with all the roundups and all
Yeah.
the, what they're doing to this animal, they have no idea
Yeah.
the difference they make in your life. Like,
Yeah.
I can have the worst day and I go out there and it all goes away. It just
Yeah.
washes away. And he'll follow me around in the side by side. Like when I'm cleaning poop, he has to
Uh,
be right there. I'm like, what are you
yeah.
doing? He's,
Yeah. It is so interesting that
yeah,
they were, they're not domesticated. They
no,
come from different genetic
yeah,
lines and experiences. And it's so interesting that it's one thing that I think about a lot, like that they want to be with us. Like, it's
yeah,
almost crazy to me. Like, why would you want to be around a human? We bring chaos
us,
and
yeah.
drama, and
And not all
you're
humans are
so
nice.
peaceful and good. Yeah. And I mean, you said like he probably had some humans that did not treat him very well in his life. And the fact that he was maybe waiting for you, just so
Yeah,
accepting and soft around you.
yeah. And he has scars. I mean, he has
Mm,
permanent scars on his legs. Like, and I'm sure he was cowboyed and I'm sure they weren't nice to him, he's,
yeah.
and he's, but he is, the vet came to float all of their teeth and give, shots and wormer. And
Yeah.
he was so funny because he's never been, he's not mean, right? But the vet, he did strike. And I stood there and my vet was like, Tracy, you need to get out of the way. I go, I'm not really afraid that he'll do anything to me.
Yeah.
And the whole time the vet was working on him in the barn, Wally never once took his eyes off me. It was like, okay, mom, you need to tell me this is okay. And I kept telling him, you'll be fine. Just let Shane do what
Yeah.
he has to do. Like, we were having that conversation, but he not once did he take his eyes off me. And even my vet and the
Mm,
vet tech were amazed at how he focused on me the whole time. Like, the
wow.
other horses were, yeah, whatever. They just did their thing and, but
Yeah.
Wally, he looked to me to reassure him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And it's so interesting how quickly they can change in different environments. I had a similar experience with one of my Mustangs where we were doing immunizations and the vet was there, and I knew that she was not going to like it. So I kind of left her for the last, which I've probably shared this before, but the vet just marched in there. And I was like, oh no. I was like taking care of the other horses, putting them up. And I just thought, oh no, like this is not going to go good. And she
right.
just, kind of marched in there with her agenda, and it didn't go good, just like I anticipated. She was not willing to just let it happen. And this was my horse that my kids would ride around in the round pen, stand on the back of her of, and the vet left and told me. And I think this is probably part of where Mustangs get their bad reputation that's pretty widespread. The vet told me, like, this horse is dangerous. You need to have a trainer. Nobody should be around her. And this is a horse my kids can lead, my kids can ride, but there is something about their ability to, I have no doubt that she knew the vet's intentions were
Yeah.
something that she wasn't okay with. But I think that perception, even, it's one of the things that makes them so incredible, but it's also one of the reasons people are scared of them, I
Yeah.
believe, and that they have that bad reputation
Mm-hmm.
because they're, living, breathing, interacting beings, and they're very attentive to their environment and the people
They,
around them, just like you were talking about with Wally, just focusing in on you and like
yeah.
needing you to be like, it's okay, I got you.
Yeah.
They're very attentive to their environment.
Yeah. And you say that, and it's funny. Last year, I went to a clinic with a well-known trainer who I have heard nothing but bad about, but my girlfriend who owns Mustang. Yeah, so I kind of felt not bullied, but she was like, "You need to give them a chance." So her and I
Mm-hmm.
loaded up our Mustangs and we went, and he said, "Okay, I've never had anybody get hurt, knock wood, blah blah blah, in all the years I've been doing this." Well, guess what? All the horses were tied up to the side of the arena. This gal came around. She came off her horse. She bashed her head, blood everywhere, needed
Oh
stitches
man.
right where the horses were. All these horses were pulled back, busted halters,
Yeah.
like it just. And Wally pulled back and then stood there.
Wow.
All these other horses are freaking out, and Wally's just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
it's over." And I came over and I got him. And it took, so then after that, this trainer said to me, "Hey, Tracy, it's your turn with Wally, so come out." So we went out. I got on, and he was spinning, spinning, spinning. Like his adrenaline was through the roof. And I said, "You know
Mm.
what? This is not safe. I'm going to get
Yeah.
off." And
Good for you.
the trainer says, "Well, I'm going to get on him." Can I tell you, in 20 minutes, he destroyed a year and a half's worth of training.
Oh man.
And he told me the exact same thing. He said, "This horse
Really?
is dangerous. He needs to be put down. You need to get rid of him. I can sell you a better horse." And I was like, "You know what? I'm done. I knew I
That's
shouldn't have come
yeah.
here. I have heard the horror stories about your training, and I'm done." It took me 45 minutes to get that poor horse into the trailer and get him home.
Mm.
And ever
Wow.
since then, we have now had to work on retrail and on trailering again, because,
Yeah.
and I don't know how you get that through to people. Like what I went through, a year and a half of training with this horse that was absolutely amazing. I mean, I was riding him in the arena. We were doing great. He
Yeah.
still, to this day, he listens to my cues. Like I can go out there, point at his hip, he'll move. Point at his
Mm-hmm.
shoulder, he'll move. Side pass, like he'll do everything. The
Yeah.
groundwork was amazing with him. And this trainer in 20 minutes literally
Oh man.
destroyed my horse. And I
Wow.
bawled for weeks. I cried because I was like, what do I feel horrible because I
Yeah.
felt guilty about what he did to him.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that I felt bad for myself. I felt like, what did I just do to my horse? I
Right.
I just put him in a bad situation again. And
Yeah.
this was not what I wanted to ever do.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we always have to remember our intentions. I had very similar feelings after the vet. Like I knew it wasn't going to go well, and we'd
Yeah.
like even practice with shots. I was not anticipating it going as poorly as it did because she didn't even wait for me. But I think we can take these experiences and use them to learn.
Hmm.
For me, what I've seen is a lot of the things that are really acceptable in the horse world and typical and expected, and something like going to a clinic. And I think it's hard because these people present themselves as professionals, and I think they
Hmm.
do have a lot of experience in their in doing what they did. But I think opportunities like that show us there's a different way we can interact with our
Hmm.
horses. There's different tools we can use, different methods we can utilize, and people that we can turn to. So, like, I 100% understand like how you were probably feeling afterwards, and it's just really frustrating knowing you put so much work in and you put them, in the hands of someone that you trusted, and maybe even didn't know
Hmm.
um, that it would be good. Like, it sounds like you kind of went against maybe a little niggling
Yeah.
inside, which I think we've all done, because
Yeah.
it's hard when all those outside pressures are saying, no, this is good, do this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
It's hard to say no to those voices and
Yes.
yes to your inner voice.
Yep.
I think that's a process. For me, it's still a process. I can be very aware of it, and I still am like, it's so hard. Those voices are so much more loud.
Yes. And it's hard because, you know, she's a great friend, and I feel like our
Yeah.
friendship kind of deteriorated after that
Mm,
because she thinks the world of this trainer, and I've heard the horror stories.
yeah.
I've been around other trainers that have had to fix his what he's done to horses. And
Yeah.
so I came home and I was literally in tears, and my husband was like, "What is
Mm,
wrong?" I said, "I
yeah.
knew I shouldn't have gone. I knew I shouldn't have gone. I put Wally in a bad situation." And I said, "And it's not fair to him." And my husband, he's not a horse person. It's me and my daughter, right?
Yeah.
We're the horse girls.
My
And
husband's the
so,
same.
yeah.
He's
And
totally disconnected from the
yeah,
horse world
yeah,
I live in.
yeah. And he's like, "Babe, you thought you were doing a good thing." He goes, "It
Yeah.
and Wally won't hold that against you." I go, "Yes, he will." I said, "He's going to remember. Horses remember everything." And I was so distraught for so long over
Yeah.
that situation with him.
It's
And
hard.
yeah, and this year just wasn't a good year for me to be able to ride. I mean, I was super busy at work, and
Yeah.
my husband lost his job, so I've
Mm,
had to work extra hard, and
yeah.
but going out there even for 15 minutes, just I find my peace with him.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of that is really key to life with any horses, with Mustangs
Yeah.
especially, is
Yeah.
just take that little bit of time. I mean, I totally get that too. Like, I have all these great intentions, or in my
Yeah.
head, it seems so easy. And then it's like, you have to live life. And like,
Yeah.
for me, I still have kids that need rides and all this other stuff going on. And it's really easy to put it in on the back burner. And I think another misconception is there's so much value in horses and Mustangs that extend beyond riding them.
Yeah.
And, that can be for a whole year. That can just be your 15 minutes a day to go out and feed them, or like sit with them or talk with them or just be next to them. All of that has value in my eyes.
Yeah.
Rides are obviously awesome. Like, I never regret going for a ride, but it's not always practical. Like,
Yeah.
some days and months, I'm like, this summer, oh, I'm going to ride so much. It was like the summer was gone, and I don't know how many times I'd gone, not very many. But yeah, there's value beyond just riding our horses and just training our horses and getting
Yeah.
them in this certain place. And I love that there's people like you out there that can, kind of see like maybe there's a different path that's better for us together than what is being pushed or focused on or other horse people think. That's when I think it gets really hard,
Yeah.
is when it's other people who have horses, because it's really easy to doubt your knowledge there, or trust your intuition, like we kind of talked about. It can be pretty tricky.
Yeah. And people are always like, "Well, why didn't you ride this year?" I said, "I don't have to ride him." I
Mm,
said, "I'll take him out. I'll brush him. We'll hang out. I take him for a walk
yeah,
down our road, and
I love that.
just being with him changes who I am." And
Hmm.
I don't, unhorse people don't get that. Horse
Yeah.
people understand that. But there are some horse people that too are, "Well, why do you keep horses if you don't ride any of them? What's the point?"
Yeah.
Like, the point is that I'm not going to put my horses in a bad situation. My horses will die here. I
Yeah.
said, I took that responsibility on to take care of them for the rest of their life. And
Yeah,
that's my
which
job.
is an attitude I wish more people would have. It's not easy. Like, I think owning horses is hands
No.
down harder than not owning horses. It's expensive, it's time
Yeah.
consuming. Like, it's not the easy path if you just
No.
want to sit around. But man, the things that you can gain, just from
Yeah.
having horses in your barn or your field,
Yeah.
I think are pretty valuable and worthwhile.
They are. And I really don't think that people that own horses that, okay, they compete, they do all that. They look down on people that's like me that don't ride all the time. They keep them, you know. But to me, they're part of my family. These horses have been with me for years. I just could never not take care of them. I mean, my husband sees the vet bills and he's like, "What? How much was that? What?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Why do you think I sell real estate?" There's a reason I sell real estate, and it's because I have an expensive
I'm working for this. I know the cost.
I
Yeah, no,
know. Yeah.
we're the same too. I have to separate my husband out because
Yeah.
he sees all that hay as just dollar bills
Yeah.
going in and out.
Yep, that's what my husband says. He's like, "Really? You paid how much for hay?" I said, "Look, I buy it once a year. You know, I put it up. I built a hay shed. I did everything I needed to do.
Yeah.
Calm your nerves.
Yeah.
I'm taking care of it."
Sometimes you need it. Yeah. You
Yeah.
need it more than some other things that money could have
Yep.
gone toward, at least for
Yep.
me.
Yeah. I'm with you, but I won't not take care of him. But Wally is definitely, he's just been such an amazing friend and companion that there are days I worry. I mean, because he is 19, but he'll never go anywhere. He's always going to be with me.
And I think that's so neat that he was able to land with you, especially after going through that hard place, that he got a soft place to land. That's a good story in and of itself.
Yeah.
That he was able to find you in whatever roundabout way that had to happen.
Yep. And he's very loved and he knows it. He's, you can see it. I see it in his eyes. I see it when I go out there. He's just, he always has to be near me.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah. Well, and I think, going back to what you're talking about, people who compete or whatever and kind of look down on us lowly horse owners. Yeah. It's almost, I think there's almost just two different communities of people. I've seen a lot of people who are really coming out and realizing the value. What made you decide to get into horses at 40? So I grew up with horses and then I was out a long time, had kids, and I was probably like 35 when I got mine. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm maybe too old for this. I don't know if I should be doing this or if this is smart. I know it's funny to look back and see that. I was like, so silly, the ideas, but what made you decide to get involved with them when you were 40?
Well, it was our daughter, because she's, we lived in New Jersey, and back there it's all dressage and jumping. But I had cousins that rode, and they were in the Devon Horse Show. My cousin Allison played polo. She did dressage.
So I was surrounded by competitive people then.
Right. And Hallie wanted a horse, and we bought this standard bred who was off the track trotter, and paid $500 for him. And I would drop her off at the barn at like 8:00 in the morning, and she wouldn't want to come home till 8:00 at night.
How old was your daughter when she got her first horse?
7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she's 27 now.
Oh man. So she just loved it.
Yeah. And so, I never rode or did anything. She always took the lessons and she was riding and all that. And then we moved to Idaho and we brought Prince with us and saw, here it's rodeo. It's all, queening. It's all, reining and cow horse.
Yeah,
and
all the Western disciplines.
That's not anything we knew anything about back east.
Yeah, they're quite different.
Yeah. So we bought her a quarter horse mare for $500, and it's funny. Years later, somebody offered her $15,000 for Katie, and awesome. She's an amazing cow horse that Hallie trained. But Hallie's the one that got me into my daughter. She's like, "Come on, Mom, let's go ride." And I'm like, "Ride? What are you talking about?" Yeah. She's like, "Mom, you really need to learn how to ride." And I'm like, "Okay." So I started riding with my daughter. When I grow up, I want to be my daughter because she's a very accomplished horsewoman. She's she's won numerous ribbons. She's competed as dressage, in barrel racing, in 3-day eventing. She's she's just an amazing horsewoman. And so
Yeah.
she's the reason why I got into it. And,
Wow.
they say, dogs are like potato chips. You can't have one. Well, horses are the same way. So,
Yeah. Especially Mustangs. I don't
yes.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's totally hit you yet, but I just heard a quote recently about parenting where it was saying that if you want to have a good relationship with your kids, like get down on the floor with them when they're little and get involved in the things that they are interested in. Sounds like that's really what you did. Did that change
Yes.
your relationship with your daughter a lot?
Oh, big time. It's her and I did everything together. We would go to rodeos, we would go to horse shows. I was like the groom. That's what I always said. I was her groom because
Yeah,
we get
her
ready for a
assistant.
horse show, and I was the one, brushing Ed and getting him all ready, and yeah. But it's such a different relationship that I have with my daughter because of that. And I don't know that people can understand that. And, our son played ice hockey and he was a goalie, and yes, it made us closer as a family, but we didn't do that together. Right.
You weren't all out there playing hockey.
Yeah. I wasn't out there, doing that. But with my daughter, it was different. I was with her. We did it together. We did everything, So yeah, the bond becomes very strong when you are with horses and your kids, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That was definitely the place where I would always feel the most connected to my mom is when she was the horse person in my life that kind of drew me to horses. And so we had them growing up. But yeah, those are the times I remember with my mom when I felt connected and close, even as, a ratty teenager going through all that trauma and struggle. Like the horses were always a safe, calm place for that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after your accident, that sounds absolutely horrible.
No, it was.
What motivated you to want to stick with it, to keep going with horses?
I will tell you, my husband did it. So my husband bought me a Remington statue for Christmas. And the Remington was the guy, he fell off the horse. So you see the horse up and the guy's on the ground, and he bought that for me for Christmas, and he put a plaque on it, and he said, "Don't ever get up, get back on." And so for somebody who's not horsey related, I think he saw the pain, not only physically, but emotionally and mentally what I was going through.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You can't sell your saddle. You have to get back on." And he watched the accident he was sitting in the tractor, and I was in the arena. And so he saw it. And our youngest son had to come in. They had to pick me up and put me on the ATV and carry me upstairs. And of course, being, a horse girl, I was like, yeah, just let me get in the bathtub. I'll be fine tomorrow. I'll just take some ibuprofen. And yeah, I woke up the next morning and my whole leg was literally black, blue, purple, green. I couldn't even put any weight on it. So he's like, "Nope, we're going to the hospital. We're going to the emergency." Yeah. So, but he's really the one that, for somebody who's not horse, he could care less. He sees them, as he calls them, hay burners, right?
Yeah. Sounds similar.
Yeah. He was all about me getting back on and not giving up. And it's weird that he's so supportive in something that he really could care less about.
Yeah. No, that is cool. I think he definitely saw something in there that it's something that you needed in your life enough to push past that.
Yeah.
So what were your emotions like on that first ride on Wally after the accident?
Scared to death.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. I mean, that horses sense every little thing, how we feel. Yeah. But I got on him, and it's funny, Ted's like, "Okay, Tracy, you need to breathe."
It's hard to breathe when you're in I think I might die right now. I don't know if I need to breathe.
I know. And all I could see was me doing the same thing I did on Shapa. And off, right? And so I breathed, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do this. This is good. Like, I can do this. And we went to training and we were doing really, really good. Like, I finally got him up to a lope and I was pretty proud of myself. I was like, yes, we're getting there. Like, we're doing this,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that whole incident with that other trainer kind of set us back. But, I still have the goal of going back to training with Ted and, getting back on him and doing it again. And I don't care how many times I have to start over. It's the fact that I know that I can do this and I want to do this, and Wally wants me to do it.
Yeah. Which is incredible. I'm like, that's a great foundation to start from.
Mm-hmm.
And I think anyone who's getting a Mustang, and not even a Mustang, I think it's horses in general, I think those setbacks can really push us down and almost cause us to quit.
Yep.
But I have found when I had those setbacks, those are the times where I really learned a lot. Sometimes
Yep.
I had to step back and totally change something.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it was just letting go of stuff I thought was important and realized, oh, you know what? I really don't care that much about our timeline or if I'm walking or riding, as long as I'm getting out with my horse.
Yep.
So I think that's something that anyone who wants to be involved in horses, like, just get ready for the setbacks and just appreciate them. There's a clip going around on social media where I think it's Joe Rogan, and he's talking about how every time something bad happens, he'll say good. And it's really that mindset, like, okay, this isn't what I anticipated. But instead of getting so down and frustrated and feeling like all is lost, good. Now that means I have lessons to learn from it.
Exactly.
I think that's something that helps me to just not get down on myself. Be like, there's some purpose. There's some lesson here. I often don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even like it.
Yeah.
I don't want to learn this lesson. But, in retrospect, they're usually things that really changed our course into a better path, better way, is what I have found.
That's what Wally has done. I mean, so I didn't ride this year, but you know what? I spent quality time with him.
Yeah.
And the bond is still there, and I know it's still there. Yeah. And he's a patient horse, and I think he's okay with our timeline and what we're doing.
Yeah.
He enjoys being able to go out for a walk and down the hill, and he likes that I take him out and brush him and play with him, and I'll just go in his stall and we'll have a conversation. I think that people can say whatever they want. Why aren't you riding? That's what horses are for. No, they're not always. That's not always what they're for.
Yeah, there's so much more to them.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you did to develop that good, strong bond with him?
So my trainer, Monique, that had my big paint mare, she's kind of like a horse whisperer. I swear, she's amazing. She has drilled it into my head. Groundwork that's where you build your bond. Not being on their back. Yeah. Be with them. Even if you go in the arena and you work with them for 15 or 20 minutes or 10 minutes, it's not always about riding. Your groundwork is where the bond starts. So for me, it was always doing groundwork with him, building that. And even when I go into his stall now to get him out of my way, I still do the cues that I was taught. And I think that is huge, is staying on top of that. And
that consistency.
Mm-hmm. Though that groundwork is what built, I feel that's where the bond was formed, is just the groundwork and just being with him. They say that it takes a good year for an animal to settle into a new situation, whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, whatever. Yeah. And, it took me being with Wally for a year, just going out in the pasture, haltering him, walking him around the pasture, like doing those little things, I think is what made our bond what it is.
Yeah. They seem insignificant, but in the scheme of things,
Hmm.
that's the foundation that you are really laying. I wish someone would have pushed that advice on me a little bit more when I got mine, because it wasn't until I was able to kind of take some focus off of it. I
Hmm.
need to be riding by this point in time or whatever. And just stepping back and really focusing on the relationship, that I feel like we made a lot of progress with my first Mustang and took a lot of that pressure off. Like you say,
Hmm.
a lot of people are like, you got to ride. That's the purpose. That's why you have a horse, is to ride it, which I definitely felt that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what I was going to say earlier is I used to, I would feel bad for her. Like, she probably wants me to ride her. I'm like, I
Right.
don't know if she really cared. I think she enjoys it now, but I don't think she was in the corral being like, you're a terrible owner. Why don't you take me out for a
Right.
ride? But that's kind of the perception I was placing on myself, is I'm a bad horse owner because I haven't done this thing
Hmm.
for my horse.
And I think that that's one thing that Monique has taught me. She's like, look, Tracy, there are so many other things you can do than ride.
Yeah.
Work at Liberty with her, with Wally. Work at Liberty with Shappa. Shappa will probably never get ridden again.
Mm-hmm.
We think that there's a back problem, and that's
Mm,
why she's the way she is. But
yeah.
if I take, even if I go out in the arena with Shappa, that horse, she remembers every single cue. I can walk, she'll walk beside me. I start to run, she starts to get faster. I stop,
Mm-hmm.
she stops. And Wally is the same. I
Yeah.
think those cues and keeping that with them, it retains the bond. And
Yeah.
people need to understand it's not always about riding. It's if I never Even if
Absolutely.
I didn't ever ride again, I would still go in to my arena and work with them with groundwork, because
Yeah.
that bond is something, if you don't have it, you can there's no words to express going
Yeah.
out there and doing something with them and just being with them.
Yeah.
It's life.
Absolutely. There's value
Yeah.
outside of being on the back of a horse.
Yeah.
There's value in just being with them. And I think just from hearing you talk, that you've been able to surround yourself with some really good horse people who
Hmm.
have really also seen what you and I feel, just that there is so much value in horses, and there's a best way to approach life with them. I'm sure it's hard when you have friends that you would like to experience that with you, but I found sometimes it's almost as if we need those things weeded out of our life a little bit so we can have better focus and direction. And I've definitely been very deliberate about the horse people who I
Yeah.
allow into my circle or
Yep.
who I take advice from, because I want to be with people who I can see your relationship with your horse, and that's what I want. And so that's who I want to learn from.
Yep.
So
I agree with you.
yeah,
You
it's important, the influences and the mentors and the people that we're drawn to, and to kind of listen to ourselves, because the first person who really mentored me, that was the big thing, is he was doing things in a way that I was like, I think I could do that. Like, I could feel good about doing things that way when I tried some other stuff. Some things would work and other things wouldn't work, but the foundational philosophies were very different, and that really changed things for me and my approach.
I've been to a couple of clinics with trainers that I've decided not for me, not
Yeah.
for my horse. And I think that standard approach to every horse being the same is not the right approach, because
Yeah.
horses are like your kids. Our kids are all different. Every
Yeah.
horse is
Lots of
different.
intricacies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have six out there that each one of them is totally different.
Yeah.
And I know each one of their personalities. I know what irritates one and doesn't irritate the
Yeah,
other.
absolutely.
And I have learned by looking at other trainers, knowing that the way you train is not really, I don't buy it. Like, you're
Yeah.
trying to say that every horse can be trained the same way. No, you
Yeah.
can't.
They have different personalities for
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
have one who he would be the horse everyone would dream on. You can get on him and make him do anything. he's not necessarily comfortable. Like,
Right.
the more we've worked with him, he hides his discomfort. My other mare, the one who would be reactive and hard to work with, she's very easy to read. I know exactly what she's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
She actually makes me less nervous than the other one because
Right.
his reactions can be very instantaneous. So if I'm putting a kid on a horse, it's usually my mare that would have been the reactive hard one that the vet said, nobody should ride this horse or be around this horse. That's the one I would put a kid on, because I can tell she's nervous about something. Let's get
Yep.
off or go back or start
Yep.
over or take a minute to breathe. There is real value in recognizing those differences and seeing how you can change yourself and kind of alter that to create a good experience for both you and your horse.
Yeah. Like my daughter's thoroughbred, you have to growl at him. Like literally, when she would jump, she would growl at him to calm him down. Like, and to refocus him. So when I go out to the barn now, because she doesn't live here, I go out to the barn and have to deal with him. I'm like, "Arr," and he knows.
It's his
Like,
soothing
yeah, he's like, okay,
mechanism now.
yeah, it's weird, and I can say, Edward, get out of that stall, and point, and he totally knows what I'm saying to him.
That's funny.
It's hard to explain to non-horse people because they just don't get it. They just
and even some horse people also.
Oh yeah.
So I love that. I think there's more and more people kind of coming out and feeling like they can express this something deeper, something less tangible, but very significant and valuable that they have in their relationship with horses.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm so thankful and blessed that you asked me to do this, because I really think people need to know what a Mustang, who they are, what they are, how special they are.
Yeah. I love it. And I love that you're willing to come on. I think a lot of people have had really deep experiences with their horses. I think sometimes it can be difficult to talk about or even want to share because they are deep emotional experiences. You know, you got teared up. There's definitely experiences that I have got teared up sharing with people because they are so significant and important. So I appreciate so much that you had a desire to come on and share, and even just sent that little message about what Wally had done for you, because I absolutely do want more people to know just how incredible Mustangs are and especially how we can be better for them and better stewards of their care, because, we're taking them from the wild, putting them in these crazy lives that we have, and how we can do that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Before we go, is there anything else you want to share? Anything else we can do to help you?
I think people need to really do their research, understand what it takes to own a horse, and especially a Mustang. Absolutely. Because they are a different breed. They're very different, and you make that commitment, you have to understand that it's a lifetime commitment. It's not an easy thing to take care of a horse. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I think that is a really important message. And I know that sometimes people can look and think adopting a wild horse feels so magical and exciting. And it is. But on the other side of that is tons and tons of learning, tons of growth. For me, I had to personally change a lot of myself to be able to be better for the horses, which is a huge blessing now, but not necessarily an easy process. And for me, my horses are very closely aligned with other life events where I feel like they were really put there because they were something I needed for that time. But it is not easy. It's a constant struggle in different ways. Right now, we just got 3 feet of snow, so we're like fighting mud and snow. Yeah, it's a little crazy. So, I mean, there's challenges that come with it. And I think
people need to educate themselves way more.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, it will be one of the most incredible commitments you ever make, as long as you do make it a commitment that's something you're going to stick with and grow with and learn from. Like, I would say it'll be one of the best experiences of your life. Personally.
I'm with you. I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story about Wally. And I love that you are just using your voice to help other people see how beautiful these relationships can be.
Yes,
They are powerful. Like, it's hard to describe it in words. But I can just tell the way you talk about them that you definitely know, and they really do have this incredible power to change our lives for the better.
they do.
And
And thank you for what you do and putting it out there.
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
without you, our voices wouldn't be heard.
Oh, well, I'm so grateful that for people that come and have supported me through this. So it's been something I hope other people benefit from, but every time I get on and talk with someone, I just learn and grow so much, and then inspired to, do better where I'm at. So I appreciate you being willing to share. Thank you for joining us and learning about horses that heal and the humans who help them. We hope you'll continue with us on this journey. We'd love for you to subscribe on your favorite platform and follow The Touch of a Mustang on any of the major social media outlets. Please share with your friends, anyone who loves horses, or anyone who might be struggling and could benefit from this message. If you have felt the healing power of horses or help them in their divinely appointed mission, please reach out. We want to hear your story. As we say goodbye, always remember that the horse is always there to help you heal.